I call the Honourable Member Materia Turei. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe. Tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to make a very short call on this bill on behalf of my colleague Kennedy Graham and, of course, the Green Party and the Green Party position on this legislation. The bill will provide legal force to subordinate legislation, regulations and the like, and in some cases confirms orders that are already in effect but will otherwise lapse unless this legislation passes. The subordinate legislation that is covered by this bill includes levies imposed on primary producers under the Commodity Levies Act, regulations made under the Customs and Excise Act and the Land Transport Act, the rates of benefits, pensions and allowances under the New Zealand Super Act, Social Security Act and the War Pensions Act, and the Tariff Act, the Tariff New Zealand-Hong Kong-China Closer Economic Partnership Agreement amendment order would be validated and confirmed by this legislation. Now, quite rightly, these are mostly technical regulations which could easily be supported to the Regulations Review Committee. Where specific groups are affected by these changes, then no doubt they will submit or have the opportunity to submit on areas where they may have concern. The Green Party certainly supports raising benefit levels, and that is done in part under this this legislation, I understand. Of course, it isn't by enough. The poverty that beneficiaries still suffer from will continue under this legislation until there is a serious review of the poverty trap that is the welfare system at the moment. We don't have any particular concern at this time about the customs and export provisions, but no doubt we'll have a look at that when the bill is at Select Committee. The land transport provisions deal with registration and the licensing of motor vehicles. They are quite complicated and technical provisions. It's difficult to tell at this early stage whether there are any specific issues with them. We assume that they will be dealt with at Select Committee if issues do arise, and that, again, those affected will have an opportunity to submit. I do say, however, on behalf of the Green Party, that we do not support the Hong Kong Free Trade Agreement, and we are opposed to the legislation insofar as it validates and confirms the amendment order for the New Zealand-Hong Kong-China Closer Economic Partnership Agreement. And on that basis, because we are so opposed and have such strong views about the economic injury that these kinds of free trade deals do to the New Zealand economy and therefore to families and New Zealand business, the Green Party will not be supporting this bill at first reading. We always consider, with legislation like this, where it does a range of different things, some of which we may agree with, some of which we may not have concerns about, and other parts that we may disagree with, we have to weigh it very carefully whether or not we will support or oppose. And on balance, the Green Party has decided that our opposition and concern for the New Zealand economy that is reflected in our concern around the Hong Kong Free Trade Agreement, and therefore we will not be supporting this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.